Welcome back to Crowned, a Smell Baseball podcast where the ghosts of October come to life. I'm your host, Mr. Baseball. Today we step into the tinted pages of 1915, where a baby-faced Boston team laid the first brick in what would become a fortress of baseball dominance. This is the story of the 1915 World Series. A young Red Sox club, a dominant pitcher named Alexander, a city on the edge. Let's go. It was a clash of contrasts. The Philadelphia Phillies, National League champions for the first time, armed with one of the greatest pitchers in the game, Grover Cleveland Alexander, 31 wins, a 1.22 ERA. A giant. And the Boston Red Sox, winners before, but not yet the dynasty they'd soon become. They had pitching depth in Rube Foster, Dutch Leonard, and Ernie Shore. They had the iron glove of Larry Gardner, the hustle of Duffy Lewis, and a center fielder named Tris Speaker, who tracked fly balls like they were letters from heaven. And on the bench, a 20-year-old southpaw named George Herman Ruth. You might know him as Babe Ruth. He wouldn't throw a pitch in this series, but he was watching, learning, waiting. Game 1 went to Philadelphia. Alexander was everything advertised. Cool, crisp, nearly untouchable. The Phillies fans packed the Baker Bowl and roared as their ace beat the Sox 3-1. It would be the last game they'd win because from Game 2 on, Boston squeezed, pressured, dominated. Foster answered with a 2-1 win. Then Ernie Shore. Then Leonard. Game after game, Boston pitching said, "We don't blink." Every win was a tightrope. Game 3, a 2-1 win. Game 4, another 2-1 win. The Phillies weren't blown out. They were outlasted. Game 5, back in Philly. The Phillies jumped ahead. Boston answered. Harry Hooper, Boston's leadoff man, launched 2 home runs that day, 1 to tie, 1 to win. Final score, 5-4. Series 4-1. Let's go back to Ruth for a second. He didn't pitch, he didn't bat, but he was there in the dugout, in the locker room, soaking in the postseason air. That October silence before the storm of greatness. In a year's time, he'd be on the mound, then at the plate, then the face of baseball itself. But in 1915, he was just a rookie watching the Red Sox take over the world. The 1915 series didn't have a walk-off error, no wild fights, no shocking upsets. It was something else. It was the quiet beginning of something massive, a dynasty, a shadow that would stretch across the decade. Boston would win again in 1916, again in 1918. And by then, Babe Ruth wouldn't just be in the dugout. He'd be rewriting the game. But it all started here. 5 games, 4 wins, 1 crown. That's all for today's episode of Crowned, a Smell Baseball podcast. I'm Mr. Baseball. Join us next time as we step into 1916 when Ruth finally takes the mound and the Red Sox raise another flag. Until then, keep your eye on the ball, your scorecard sharp, and remember, legends aren't born, they're crowned.